As the war between Israel and Hamas threatens to spill into other countries, neighboring countries have declared war on Israel, including Turkey on Iran. The news that Turkey is deploying a warship to protect Palestinians from Israeli attacks towards Gaza has been widely circulated over the last several days on the social networking site X, which was once known as Twitter. Turkey, prior to this, stated that they would be supporting Gaza, have now been seen moving a warship towards that region. The assertion coincides with the declaration made on October 25 by Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who canceled a scheduled trip to Israel and said that Hamas was not a terrorist group, escalating tensions between Ankara and Jerusalem. Before going deeper into these countries' current relations, it is important to understand and delve into the history and past relations of the three countries. Ahmet Davutoglu, Turkey foreign minister since 2009, claims that in terms of its sphere of influence, Turkey is a Middle Eastern, Balkans, Caucasian, Central Asian, Caspian, Mediterranean, Gulf, and Black Sea country all at the same time, summarizing the nation's current self-perception. Following this declaration, Turkey, a nation celebrating its 90th anniversary and home to a growing population of ambitious, well-educated young people, established itself as a significant regional force with ties to a wide range of political and cultural spheres of influence. Little is known about Turkey's connections with Arab and Muslim nations, despite the historical literature about the country emphasizing its dedication to the West since Mustafa Kemal, later known as Ataturk, father of the Turks, declared the Turkish Republic in 1923. As is well known, Turkey was one of the founding members of the United Nations, UN, in June 1945. It also became the first Muslim-populated member state of the Western-oriented North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, on February 18, 1952. Turkey further cemented its ties to the West when it became a founding member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, and the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, OSCE. In addition, the Turkish Republic signed the so-called Ankara Agreement on September 12, 1963, which governed Turkey's relationship with the European Economic Community, EEC, the forerunner of the modern European Union, EU, and applied for membership in the EEC in 1959. Without a question, Turkey's post-Ottoman Empire trajectory was markedly different from that of the other former territories of the now-defunct multi-ethnic empire. Arab nations like Egypt, Transjordan, and Iraq established monarchy, while France and Great Britain colonized Syria and Tunisia. Turkey, on the other hand, is now regarded as the perfect example of how democracy and Islam can coexist, thanks to its revolutionary choice to establish a modern, Western-styled nation-state in Anatolia. As Turkey celebrates its 90th year as a republic in the Middle East, any scholarly examination of the country should emphasize its relationships with the nations it once shared an empire, given its remarkable records of political, economic, cultural, and societal progress. A complex and multidimensional saga spanning centuries, the history of Israel and Turkey is characterized by a mosaic of geopolitical, diplomatic, and cultural exchanges. These two countries have had a dynamic connection that reflects the ups and downs of regional dynamics, political changes, and cultural linkages from ancient times to the present. Ancient links. There are ancient historical connections between the regions that would eventually become Israel and Turkey. Empires like the Ottoman Empire and Byzantium once resided in the area, profoundly influencing the cultural environment. The establishment of these historical ties prepared the way for later relations between Israel and Turkey, the two modern states. Post-World War II era. In 1948, the State of Israel was established, marking a turning point that profoundly altered the Middle East geopolitical environment. Under Mustafa Kemal Ataturk's direction, Turkey had already gone through a modernizing phase and was keen to forge diplomatic relations with newly rising countries in the area. Diplomatic relations. Turkey and Israel established cordial diplomatic ties in the initial years after Israel's founding. The two countries were closer because of their common objectives, which included a worry over Soviet influence during the Cold War. Both nations recognized the possibility of working together in a number of areas, and diplomatic missions were established. Military cooperation was one of the relationship's noteworthy features between Israel and Turkey. The two countries shared intelligence and experience while participating in combined military drills and defense projects. Their strategic partnership was built on this military cooperation, which helped to maintain regional stability. Challenges and shifts. In spite of a positive beginning, there have been changes in the diplomatic sphere between Israel and Turkey throughout time. Tension arose from the Israeli-Arab conflict, specifically the Palestinian question. The course of their relationship was impacted by the shift in regional dynamics, which included shifting geopolitical interests and leadership changes. 1990s, economic relations and reconciliation. Rebuilding relationships and mending disagreements were priorities in the 1990s. As both nations realized the advantages of trade and investment, economic cooperation emerged as a key concern. Cultural exchanges and technological cooperation flourished, providing a hint of hope for a revitalized relationship. The 21st century's highs and lows. The relationship between Israel and Turkey had highs and lows throughout the early 2000s. Positive momentum was suggested by high-profile visits, diplomatic endeavors, and business accords. Events like the 2010 Gaza flotilla incident, which strained relations and resulted in a decline in diplomatic ties, caused the dynamics to change once more. Recent developments. The dynamics of the relationship between Israel and Turkey have fluctuated in recent years. Both nations are still attempting to strike a careful balance between their respective geopolitical objectives, local difficulties, and the complexity of the Middle East. The narrative is constantly changing due to the ongoing crisis in Syria, shifting regional alliances, and the Eastern Mediterranean's hunt for oil resources. Looking ahead, the complex nature of international ties in the Middle East is demonstrated by the history of relations between Israel and Turkey. The narrative is still developing, with both countries encountering fresh possibilities and difficulties. The historical and cultural links between Turkey and Israel provide a basis for future cooperation and understanding even as geopolitical environments continue to change. The relationship between Turkey and Israel is a complicated tapestry reflecting the Middle East, where geopolitics, diplomacy, and culture are entwined and shape states' destiny in an intricate dance between ancient histories and contemporary realities. Although Erdogan's actions have recently caused tensions in their relationship, Israel and Turkey are still allies. The strongest armies in the region are those of Israel and Turkey, although they have both deteriorated recently. Regarding Turkey, there has been significant political meddling in the country's officer corps. Erdogan has dismissed or replaced numerous capable Turkish officers on the basis of ideological disagreements or personal allegiances. Though political meddling has hindered Israel's military's effectiveness in recent conflicts with Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas and Islamic Jihad in Gaza, the situation has been similar, albeit to a lesser and less personal extent. Nevertheless, against a much more formidable force like the Turkish military, it is likely that the Israeli military could return to its older ways, as Israel has demonstrated it is capable of doing. Even lower-ranking Israeli field commanders, known as sergeants, have been able to defy orders from higher-ups in all of Israel's major wars when those higher-ups are not present on the battlefield and are therefore unable to fully comprehend the situation on the ground as well as the soldiers and officers who are present at that particular moment. The invasion. Turkey has two options if it comes to invading Israel, either by land or by sea. Although Israel is a small country, the Arabs have discovered that it is extremely difficult to conquer. By land, the borders between Israel and Turkey are marked by Syria, an Iranian puppet that neither country is friendly to. If the Syrians join the invasion, it could either cause chaos for Turkey or be advantageous to them. However, this is about a Turkish invasion, not a joint Syrian one. So even if the Syrians allow the Turks to pass through their territory, it will still present challenges for the Turks because the only route from Syria to Israel is the easily defended Israeli Golan Heights. Almost 500 Syrian tanks were destroyed or abandoned in the aftermath of one Israeli armored brigade's successful hold off an entire Syrian tank division in the 1973 Valley of Tears. With an entirely concentrated Israeli front in the Golan, a successful invasion, even by the formidable Turkish military, would be all but impossible. Thus, the Turkish military would have to pass via another nation after Syria in order to assault Israel on land, Lebanon or Jordan, respectively, which would still give Israel a geographic edge and complicate matters diplomatically. By sea, Turkey's invasion by sea is a far safer alternative because Israel's naval might has lagged behind Turkey's, which is the Mediterranean's emerging naval power. In addition to the fact that over half of Israelis reside in coastal towns, villages, and cities, Israel's naval fleet is stronger with 81 ships than Turkey's with 149. But Israel's Air Force presents Turkey with additional challenges. Israel's Air Force is already far superior to Turkey's, and even if Hamas and Islamic Jihad in Gaza decided to jump ship and support Turkey, the IF would take care of them quickly. With Turkey looming large, Israel would not have the luxury of dealing with Gaza as surgically as they usually do. Gaza would have to be dealt with swiftly, rather than gently. If a conflict of this nature arose, it is safe to say that the Arab casualties would be greater than those of Turkey. Thank you for watching till the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure the notification bell is turned on so you never miss a video. See you in the next one.